I hate modeling in Maya. I hate it so much. I hate it. Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Hey, Ember, I know we're not like all about making this like super precise, especially like super detailed, since it's just a concept. But I think you've gotten a little bit close or referenced the original model quite a bit compared to the new design. It's like a mixture, but I think it's straight away a little bit compared to the new TLC design, if you know what I mean. Mainly just like the shape of the anatomy a little bit. It's hard for me to see on stream, but like for example, the mouth thing we talked about, where the mouth muscle would end or whatever, you can see like it's further back, I believe, in your concept compared to the TLC concept. But it looks really good. Just trying to like help you remember, I suppose. Chat go. There it is. Yeah. I want it to be the TLC design. I know it was probably safe to mix the two, but yeah, TLC design would be preferred. Thank you, really appreciate it. Same goes for Patchy. Mainly just shape changes. Anybody tries to teach you how to model in Maya or do UVs, just run for your life. Hello, Martin. Welcome. Sorry it took me a second to respawn. I'm working on a model. Unrelated. UVs are not fun. It's becoming easier though. That's nice. Gotta straighten out my topology. I don't understand how these things like become tilted and everything. Whoa, that is a mess. What is going on here? Just a bunch of like, how did that happen moments. And then rage. Because then you gotta fix it. is the big downside of doing anything technical.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Henry. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm free for a while. Yes, very very exciting paleo news recently. We actually got T-Rex neonates. So very, very young ones.
Wait, young Rex?
Yeah, like baby Rexes. Like just hatched Rexes. And the study does seem to actually correlate with what we have, which is Rexes just had a lot of babies and then up and left. The study actually says around 30 babies, and that is a lot. That is around sauropod levels.
You heard that,
But
guys?
yes.
Now we have to make Rex have thousands of babies whenever they nest.
No, I promise we're actually balancing it.
Nah, what do you mean, Henry? We gotta have Rexes have like 30 babies in one nest. It'll work. It's free food for the entire ecosystem. Most of them won't survive.
If we...
They'll cannibalize each other first.
Yeah, to be fair, the issue then is what we're going to do about sauropods, because sauropods have even more. Sauropods have around 50 to 80.
Well, I guess half the server or so can be sauropods then. Well, I mean, honestly, the egg hunters will be thriving. I doubt everybody will be taking those eggs.
The egg hunters would be thriving. The issue is then the take up slots. I believe we actually, like within QA, yes, Amber, we do have new Rex baby news.
What I'm thinking.
The thing is, with there is actually a mention of smaller tyrannids. So tyrannosaurs, and then the ones that are related to them, is they seem to have parental care. So things like Nanotyrannus would probably have parental care. The small ones do. It's just T-Rex that doesn't.
Rex is just built different.
T-Rex decided it was going to be a deadbeat.
Maybe they were just too focused on sustaining themselves. They just couldn't take care of their own children.
Yeah, most likely where it is just how big they are. It's literally too much effort for them to take care, especially because now we know that newborn T-Rexes are extremely small. Like, they are more likely to be stepped on.
We went from Rex pairing to single Rex parents to just no Rex parents.
Yes, essentially.
That works out. Just means more cannibalism.
If I can find the direct size thing, but Rex babies when they first hatch are incredibly small.
forgot. I have a meeting for 30 minutes in about 10 minutes. So, yeah, what I was saying is like all those eggs wouldn't be taking up that many server slots because they're just opportunities. Not every player is going to be able to or is going to decide to take an egg. And if that does happen, then well, natural selection, they will die, or kill each other, even if they're not cannibals. They will have to. And the eggs that are left over that never get taken are just food for anybody that comes by, if they're not
Yes.
still protected.
Bloris, how small are we talking about? Do you know the size of a munchkin cat? Baby T-Rexes are about the size of a small cat. Yes, they are very tiny. They are literally kitten-sized. Baby T-Rexes are literally the size of a kitten.
Oh, by the way, to answer you, Bloris, I don't think I'll be able to share what I'm working on until like later, but you'll likely see it in project aperture. Unless start like becoming too slow at what I'm doing, then who knows, maybe what I do just won't make it in, but we'll see. Hopefully it does. But I'm working on a Rubbermaid storage tub, but a stylized one. Pretty simple for now until I get more advanced with modeling and everything, but yeah, even that, as somebody with no prior 3D experience, going through the whole pipeline and reaching industry standards with it is difficult, especially when you're trying to get it right the first time. Also, welcome, Kleiner.
Hello.
The entire gang is here. Well, almost.
Yeah, we're missing War Dragon, but and Paleo. A lot of people still. We got like maybe half of them here, but yeah, we're gonna have to. Ember's gonna have to figure out a Kleiner overlay next stream, so that people don't get confused. Yeah, thank you, Boris. And also, welcome Blockdo as well. I know they're in here, or at least were in here. I imagine it's safe for me to say, because it's not anything personal, but Kleiner, I will have to pass on playing Path of Titans. I have uninstalled it, and I've uninstalled the launcher as well. I became very upset after being chased down by Hatscopteryx and murdered. It felt very unfair. I was in Megalania. I couldn't run away from it, and so I tried to climb up something, but well, guess what? Hats can fly and bite, and still that bite still registers while you're in the climbing state. So there is no escaping hats if you're in Megalania. Oh, and it was also mixed packing, so like I couldn't fight it on land. I just wasn't fast enough. I didn't have the stamina, and so my only other opportunity, since there was no water nearby, was climbing. And like I said, it would just bite me while I'm climbing, and so yeah, there was nothing I could do. I'll consider re-downloading it. I'm not a big fan of Path of Titans combat. It feels very sluggish and almost like turn-based. Almost.
Bolokto asks, are there more concept arts planned for the short film?
Right now, we're doing concepts as we need them. So plans, there are no plans for more concepts for this specific short film. However, that could change. And Blor's escaping into the forest wouldn't do anything again. It was a mixed pack. I think they had like an Allosaurus and everything with them. Also, the forest was still like a little bit of ways. I couldn't even run there in time. I'd probably run out of stamina by then. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how Path handles their balancing. It's very responsive to the community, yes, but I feel like they don't look into like the deeper reasons behind why they get certain feedback, and so they change the wrong thing. It reminds me a lot of games, and including Marvel Rivals, where it's like, oh, this character's problematic, so we're just going to nerf a few things about them, but those nerfs will have nothing to do with the actual problematic thing about that character.
To be fair, though,
And
this
so,
is why I am excited to get into Primeval Horizon balancing.
yeah, I want to avoid doing that, because what happens is you're creating more issues for that character, because not only did you nerf it the wrong way, but the problem remains, like the core problem remains. And so you just made the character worse for the people that are playing it, but you also didn't fix the problem, so like people are still suffering and going against that character. So it's like both sides lose. And you overall just make for a worse experience. I will have to go for about 30 minutes, probably less. In about 2 minutes here, or a minute. Just a little bit of a meeting with the producer for Project Aperture.
Oh, good. I'm still here. I can entertain the community while you're gone.
Yes, yes.
I know. Speaking of balancing, is there anyone in chat who has balancing questions? No, but you would like to know what that is. Balancing is essentially making sure the characters in a game have around about 50-50, or whatever the idealized win-loss rate is. What rules do you use for balancing playables? What do you take into account? What rules do we use? We use a lot of rules because each individual playable is so different. So, for instance, balancing something that is toxic, like for example Spicomellis, is a lot different to balancing something that has to rely on raw damage. So, for example, something like Spicomelis, which is both toxic and has armor, its actual raw health is a lot lower, which means it's vulnerable to fracture attacks, which means it's not just going to be a big massive wall that people can't defeat because it's, you know, it's toxic. You bite it and you get poisoned. Well, poisoned with an asterisk. Or do you take into account everything? You have to take everything into account, including the terrain. For example, some playables will get nerfed because they have a lot of movability. So, for example, Barusukas recently got nerfed on QA's side simply because it was simply too good at moving around. Silver Comet asks, can you knock over trees? If you are big enough, we plan for that. That makes you wonder for Kulasukas. Currently, Kulasukas is in... You wonder how tanky that is... Oh, there is an advert currently playing. Okay, whatever. You wonder how really tanky is Baru since it's one of the smallest playables. Baru isn't tanky. The reason it was nerfed is because it was too good at moving around. It could swim fast, it could run fast, it could climb, and it had armor. And then it also had, obviously, it had the tenderize ability, which means essentially it could do too much damage in a short period of time simply by dodge tanking. So it wouldn't be health tanking; it would be dodge tanking, meaning it was simply too fast to get hit. Which is why it was nerfed. For obvious reasons. See, Kula is a different beast simply because it is toxic, and the toxin is something that has to be enabled, which means it has to pause, enable its toxin, and then the toxin effects start. Makes it kind of untouchable. No, because you just run at it. You just run it down. It doesn't have good stamina. The survivability of Kulasukas is specifically in the way that it can run away. But that means it's mostly good survivability against ambush predators. So if you have something like Smilosuchus trying to get at the Kulasukas, that Smilosuchus is likely going to win because it can pursue. It's similar to how Kung Shu Long is good against ambush predator. Stamina is also taken into account. Barusukas specifically had very low stamina loss, specifically when it was running. So it was simply too good at dodge tanking. In fact, is there a game mechanic where you have to eat? Yes. We have hunger, thirst, and we also have evil plants that will kill you. So, get good. I joke mostly. If something is completely inedible, yes, we do have plants which are not plants; they are sessile organisms. I mostly joke about getting good, but we are very much skill based. Those types of plants are always interesting to me. Yes. So if something is completely inedible to your species, so for example, Gimpy Gimpy, Gimpy Gimpy cannot be eaten. It'll kill you. So it'll always show up as inedible. It's just not good to eat. It will burn your throat, and you will not have a good time. So don't eat it. So it will show up as inedible. However, if something is toxic but edible, it will not show up as inedible. You will have to learn that yourself. Because this is the key part. Some things are only toxic to some playables, and some toxins are dependent on what perks you take. How deadly can they be to big playables? Losing a larger apex creature to eating something you didn't know about sounds frustrating. We've balanced it. Essentially, inherently larger animals are just better at taking in toxins simply by the fact that they are bigger. To use an example, if you have a cat and a dog eat the same thing, a cat is more likely to get to the hospital because it is simply smaller than a dog. The dog being bigger is saving it from dying in that case. Do they become dehydrated? Yes. And you also have to manage being diseased. Do not drink the dirty water. Yeah, hatchling Rex is very tiny. But yeah, coming back to the how deadly can they be to big playables, if you are a hatchling and you are larger on apex, then it can still be dangerous because it's basically relying on your weight. If you are an adult or an elder, you shouldn't be dying from eating the wrong thing. You might get very, very sick, but you shouldn't be instantly coiling up and dying. However, if you have a young, yes, that is in the options. Just don't be stupid. If you want to be stupid, be a young animal. Learn it that way. Is there an aging mechanic? Yes. has it been decided if Smartler will be in a sooner update because Scylla got upsized? The updates are currently in limbo. Simply because we don't give ETAs. Survival of the fittest mentality. Kind of. It's in the game. It's a bit kinda because obviously you will have other players helping you, presumably, assuming they don't feed you the wrong information. But no, to clarify further on that, we do expect guides and such. Well, dinosaurs have some kind of collision, so you can't get stuck inside of someone. We plan to, ideally. You might be able to get the tip of your tail inside of someone, but that's because it doesn't take damage. So it wouldn't matter. And that's simply because the tip of the tail is extremely hard to ensure it has collision. So there might be tiny bits of meshing, but we don't plan on having the entire thing be able to be meshable. Can you do bleed out damage? Yes. Depending on the attack. If you bleed them, does that make tracking possible? Depending on the playable you have. Might body collision get physics? For example, you walk through someone else's head and it gets tilted a bit. That would have to be something we talk about with the coders. We do want collision to be somewhat stress-based. So obviously, if you are trying to deliberately collide with someone, that might increase your stress, but that is something that we will have to test. Are there any ways to heal? Depends on what you're trying to heal. You'll have to be a bit more specific about that, Silver. Then blunt damage or wounds. If you want to heal an open wound, for instance, that is just an act of time and rest. Blunt damage, I assume you mean like fracture. Fracture is another one where you would have to wait because there is simply put, just the way bones biologically heal is not very conducive to things helping it, unless you have a splint somehow. Even then, you just have to wait. Wounds is slightly more pending. Depends what kind of a wound it is. For example, if it's a laceration, you might be able to find plants that help with bleeding. How is Mapu's tendon tear different from fracture? Mapu's tendon tear directly damages speed and acceleration. Fracture damages your actual stats. So, for example, if you fracture someone's jaw, their damage goes down because they can't bite you. Since the Isles added cliff sliding mechanics to the hard test seems quite nice. Thank God. Cliff sliding is a very fun mechanic. Kind of wonky currently. Yeah, I would expect that. More fun than sliding and dying. I would expect so. Feels like sliding and then suddenly finding one pixel that is higher and then flying off and dying is not very conducive to a good gaming session. I remember when Wolf Quest had that issue as well. Hidden ravines are a staple. It doesn't matter what survival game you're in, there will always be a hidden ravine. This is simply something that we've decided that must happen for some reason. Your night vision hid cliffs from your sight. Yeah. You're getting a free look at what it's like to play blind. Will PVH have hidden ravines? That depends. Depends how evil we're feeling. Oh my god, there's more ads. Why did YouTube decide to do this? The channel got approved for ads, I see. I'm too used to having ad block on. What ads? Yeah. Oh, Ember already replied that. I'll sift through them because it's monetization. You got jump scared by an ad that was 4 times louder than the stream. Yeah, that's the main issue. I don't mind sitting through them because obviously it's monetization towards the game, obviously. But the volume difference, they don't need to do that. You hate YouTube ads, they're obnoxious. That is true. I get horrible ads on my phone for no reason. Like, they give me completely different ads. It's like the weirdest stuff. You don't need to send me dating apps. You cannot do that. You can simply just not do it. There are also ads which pop up on the side of this. Oh, I don't have that, thankfully. What ads do I get? YouTube mostly just gives me weird mobile apps. Like, that's usually the ads I get, or dating apps. And it's like, okay, I don't need any of those. Thankfully though, the ads I'm getting on this channel are like normal ads. It's like random food and it's like, thank God. Normal ads. You get a lot of... I didn't even know Reddit had ads. You don't need to go on Reddit. No one needs to go on Reddit. Unless you have a random question that hasn't been answered in 3 years, then you go on Reddit. Usually a tech question. You will have the world's most niche error, and you will find someone on Reddit from 9 years ago complaining of the exact same thing. And that will be the only question. That'll be the only thing that actually answers it. Other than that, you don't need Reddit. There are many of these questions, but sometimes even Reddit doesn't help. Depends on the question. Sometimes it's one of those questions where you need to word it in a very specific way. Otherwise, a search engine just simply does not compute that it exists. A lot of science questions are like this. When you're trying to find a very specific paper that you know exists, but then you need to like finagle the actual question you are putting in. Reddit is good in finding memes about the most niche things, mainly games. Reddit has a lot of subreddits. And that is about all I will say on the subject. You were so bad at wording questions and sentences in general. I can imagine sometimes I'm literally trained to find things online And even then, sometimes the search engine will simply just not give me the thing that I need. And it's like, I know this study exists. I have seen it printed out. I just need the DOI. Give me the DOI. I need it. I need to reference it. Finding references is really whack-a-mole. My favorite thing to do in studies is cite things that are common knowledge. It's like the sea is salty, and then 5 different citations according to common knowledge. One of my favorite things to do, truly. But no, something I am excited to do is also the balancing for the other rosters. You keep forgetting about the other rosters. I can't. That's my job. It is massive, but the thing is, once you've got all the foundation downs, so things like attack tags, just tags in general, honestly, things like temperature, etc. Basically, once you've got the basics down, a lot of the scope is a lot easier. You can imagine making the Paleozoic roster is hell with so little information about the animals in that era. Yes, a lot of the weights are like severely out of date. So we've had to do GDIs for basically all of them, which means the Paleozoic roster is in a funny little limbo right now where we are basically changing what tier everything is in, because a lot of the weights we found in papers are from so far back that we've basically gotten more information about the animal, and it's like completely changed their weight. I think there is exactly 2 that did not change their weight in the Paleozoic roster currently. And that's Arthropleura and Dimetrodon, because they have recent papers. The others do not. To be fair though, with the Paleozoic roster, some of them are like mentioned in like exactly 2 papers ever. I mean, with the Aquila silhouette will look sick AF. It does. Seeing concept art makes you more excited for the actual short film. I'm glad that should be the case. Now, obviously, I am biased, but I do think we have cooked with the short films. Roxas says there was so little information about the Paleozoic roster creatures that I couldn't even search what some playables look like. Yeah, there is a lot of them have a little information because that means we can go more wild with them. Amber says, I think the short films were a good idea to keep the Primeval project active. I do agree. I think it's also very fun because we get to go into things that, for example, might get overlooked, especially in the ecology. I am also very biased because I like sound design. For sure. You still can't wait for sound design. Ember says, I'm glad sound design has started. I can't wait for when we do the funny sound quizzes. That's going to be my favourite thing with the sound design, honestly. Other than the fact that sound design obviously exists. It's very fun. I just can't say anything about it. But no, our plan is to get a bunch of the calls and then make a quiz to see what people think each call is going to. You wonder how you'll get the quiz wrong. It'll be very funny. You're so great at guessing, though. You did get Gumshoe very well. Trust. Depending on what Say wants to do, you might get one freebie. You'll have to ask Sarah about that, though, in the Discord channel. But no, we have gone very interesting with the calls, I will tell you that. You wonder how interesting. What's the least spoilery thing I can say? Expect a lot of weird animals. Humans, they're weird. Maybe there's humans in there. You're not that far off. Really curious how they will sound. Your favourite creature sound design. What's your favourite creature blocked of? Maybe I'll have a few hints about the sound design for that creature. Essentially diverging from how you usually hear certain dinosaurs depicted elsewhere. Yes, very much so. The only exception is when we actually have information about how the actual animal sounds. Just because obviously you can't diverge from it if it's the actual animal. But I believe that is mostly for Spicomelus and about Spicomelus only, because we only really have it for Ankylosaurs. How Spico will sound like. So for Ankylosaurs, we actually have for Ankylosaurus itself. Essentially what it sounds like is a tuba. If you've ever heard of a tuba, like pull up a different Discord tab and look up tuba noises. And that is what an Ankylosaurus sounded like. You think you're most curious about Sarah because it's semi-aquatic. Yeah, hold on, let me listen to this. Kind of, but more like more deep and more breathy. It's like if someone was trying to be a tuba, but with their lungs. That is essentially what Ankylosaurs sound like, as far as we know. And again, we know that because we actually have their entire vocal airway tract. So that is about as realistic as you can get because we have the actual tract. I think my favorite in the free starter species essentially for this series. I think my favorite. Okay, well I like them all, to be fair, but I think Patchy has to have one of my favorites. Ankylosaurs are always best. If you are an Ankylosaur, you are inherently best. That is simply a scientific fact. Me is your favorite Ankylosaur. That's a good one, Ember. Everyone can guess what mine is because it's the one that made it into the game. Bloxa said from all playables, I'm curious how Kulu will sound. Kulu's going to be based on a lot of amphibians, if that isn't obvious.
My return. What I miss?
Sorry, I was drinking my drink.
A lot of messages.
We were talking about sound design.
I got you. What about balancing? Did you talk about balancing or anything like that?
Yeah, we did talk about balancing. A lot of people were asking about like the basics of balancing, because I think we've got a few new people in the chat.
I see. That's great to hear.
Obviously, alongside Lockjaw and Bloris, who are longtime fans.
For sure. Also, thank you, Bloris, for welcoming me back. You as well, Ember. Thank you.
Of course. What else did we talk about? There. Oh, we were talking about the mystery call quiz.
I see.
Because you said you wanted to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember, but that sounds good.
I'm pinging you directly at the text chat, actually, if you want me to.
Oh, no worries, I believe you.
I know, because you explicitly told me to keep you remembering it.
Yep, sounds about right. It's a good thing I told you that.
I'm very good at remembering things when it's needed.
Thank you. But
yeah, on June the 18th, you said we should do a guest playable call quiz, and then you said, like the idea, you've got to keep me reminded.
Yeah, because I did not remember. I have too much on my mind.
That's exactly why I'm here, though. This is why QA exists.
Might become speaking of QA, it might become QA for Project Aperture, but it's nothing confirmed right now. It's just an opportunity that I might explore, and in doing so, um, I get to learn more about not only like Project Aperture, but more about QAing, and that means that I will be able to, you know, potentially train you guys that are on QA. I know you're QA lead, for Primeval, but being able to teach you some things as I am taught some things will be really good.
Yeah, I've QA'd for other games before, even though like dead now. But obviously, a lot of games obviously have different genres.
Oh, for sure.
Which is the way you
We're
want to say
talking
it.
about we're talking about a game that's more like industry standard. I don't know what games you've worked on, but
Yeah,
we're talking about
industry standard is a lot different.
yeah, but yeah, our producer is like a senior, so he's got a bunch of experience as far as I'm aware, and I'm excited to learn, and I'm excited to also share that with you guys.
You should have fun. Being QA is fun.
Yeah, I think it'd probably be more fun than the UVs, so that's something that I'm hoping
See,
I
if
actually do have fun
depending
with.
on what QA you're doing, I don't know what QA you're going into.
It's just like we're what we're doing, or as far as I'm told, I'm just going through the game, and we do like a degradation test. Is
Mm.
what it was described as, where we see if with each build the game is degrading. So every build you're kind of like going down this list of like maybe you have to like jump 3 times, and you have to like make sure your inventory is working and stuff like that. So we're going down a list to make sure like pretty much every system in the game is tested
Yep.
before before it's passed on to anything else.
Yeah,
And then there's
I know what
also
you're doing.
and there's also like I think it's like a smoke test or something. It's like or maybe that's what I described. But smoke test is, I think, it's kind of just going and checking, seeing if anything's broken before we have developers test it out. Of course, there'll still be bugs probably because can't
Yeah.
catch them all, but yeah, that's the general kind of thing. Just kind of
Yeah.
testing builds
Laura
and making
says, I
sure
mean,
I'm available.
Vile treats QA as bug finders. Yeah, so what Sierra's talking about there with the smoke tests and the degradation tests, that's what quote unquote bug finding is,
Hmm. But
alongside
also,
obviously actual bug finding.
for sure. But also with QA, as you know, I'm very close with trying to make sure the player has a good experience and
Hmm.
is able to actually play the game well and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I'll obviously be able to provide my input and be communicating with the design team to make sure um the game works well for new players or just players that are just playing the game, making sure
Hmm.
things work correctly, whatnot. You get the gist. I mean, the QA over here does a lot.
Yeah, we are about as wide as you get when you have a QA, which is why we have teams.
Yeah, QA over here is like bug finding and design. So like
Hmm.
you guys are quality assurance with design and bug finding. It's really cool because like other games don't really bother with the design side when it comes to QA.
I always thought that was interesting. Usually, what they do is they leave the design up to the developers themselves. Hi, Rover.
Yeah, the developers design things and the QA's there just to fix their problems. That's about it.
Yeah, personally, in my opinion, you can't do that properly. You have to have a very good back and forth because the thing is, even if you have an idea, if you try and implement it, you obviously need the QA to test how to implement that as well alongside the coders. And then what happens if your idea doesn't work? You can't just go, oh well, I'll implement it anyway. You have to
Yeah,
find a
no,
way to implement it.
I definitely think QA should I mean, at that point QA is part of design. You guys may not be doing like a bunch of documentation like a proper game designer would, but you're definitely like kind of a mixture there. So I know with a
No,
game
well,
designer,
what
like
we'll what we'll
they
probably be doing, we'll probably be making proper design like documents, um, later on when things are more fixed.
yeah. But yeah, with game design documents, like you got to get into like specifics and like has to be super
Mhm.
organized and like that's it's sometimes pages. Actually, in fact, for this kind of game, it will be pages,
Yep.
multiple pages.
Yep.
But yeah, at that point, you pretty much are like part of game design, not just QA. But it's good
Mhm.
to I mean, QA has to know about the design of the game, so those two
Yeah, because otherwise you can't give
roles work
feedback.
together really well. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll see how that
You could.
goes.
Laura
See
says
if
you
I
can make a book out of game design documents.
I mean, some game design documents are like super small. It really depends on the game you're creating, but like Primeval Horizon, the scope is pretty large long term. And so when you're documenting, I mean, all of it's not going to be documented at once because it's probably not the best idea to document something that's a low priority if you have other stuff to document first that are higher priority. But yeah, there are games with much smaller game design documents. Like for Project Aperture, it's still a decently like sizable uh game document. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to like a very minor concern, and I know like the developers over at Project Aperture are aware of it. Is like the scope of the game. I want to make sure like we're not reaching too far with the scope with the Project Aperture because again, the game we're creating is supposed to be super simple. Everybody knows that, and everybody agrees on that. Um,
Mhm.
I know a lot of people have like ideas and are like very excited to pitch those ideas, but we always have to keep in mind the scope and yeah, just it'd be nice to as QA also give input on that. I know the few times I have given some insight over there, it's been valued. So I think that's why they proposed the opportunity for me to be a part of QA. It'd be pretty cool. We'll see how it goes though. I'm excited to see how it goes though. I mean, things are always exciting when you talk about them until you do them. But yeah, we'll see if I remain excited when I start doing it. But I do feel like with the way I am, it'll be easier to just kind of start like going around and basically like playing the game and breaking stuff, even if it's like repetitive compared to doing UVs and everything. Like that stuff is so frustrating. Like at least when something breaks in a build, it's not my responsibility to fix it. I'm just reporting it. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah.
I get to be the
See,
person that's like, I point and the other person shoots.
Block just says the Achilla looks good, even looks a bit scary.
It should look
You
scary.
can see, you can absolutely see all the fluff on him.
Yeah, it's very fluffy. Like it's got that werewolf kind of aesthetic that I really tried to go for with this design. Not necessarily werewolf, but kind of wolf. You can kind of see it with how much just like feathering it has around the neck and everything. Ember
Yeah.
really nailed that. I know one criticism might have been Bloris was that the wings felt a little bit small in the original TLC design. I don't necessarily agree, but I don't want to like shoot that down. Maybe it's something that we can talk about a little bit more on how like the wings could be increased in size without like going against the material we have for a kilometer and without it also
Yeah,
looking
because
off.
basically the I yeah, I understand where the idea is coming from, but that is also like, as far as we know, the anatomically correct. There we go. I can say words. The anatomically correct, um, basically wing size, at
Yeah,
least
it looks good
compared.
to me. Yeah, that is true. The feathering can make the
Yeah,
wings feel
absolutely.
smaller.
I mean, it's like, especially when you look at them and you don't see them next to a human as well. Because things like albatross wings look really small, and then you see them next to a human and you're like, oh my god. And they feel fine here. Well, that's good to know.
You know, is very minor, and I don't see like an issue with it in the artwork. But I'm pretty sure our kilometer model, since it was originally Dakota Raptor, and then just like its proportions were adjusted, its neck never got. We never figured out how to shorten its neck, and so the neck is longer than what an actual kilometer would have, I believe.
I can go
So
check.
yeah, so modeling like or drawing over the old model or the existing model we have directly probably wouldn't be the most accurate, but again, it looks fine here, probably just because of how much fluff is there. But I just wanted to point that out.
Let me find good old
Also,
Dakota Raptor, which is something else
welcome,
now.
welcome Dodo, and if I have not acknowledged Blocko
Oh, we
already
didn't
or
even have
enough,
we
then
didn't even have the neck from Dakota Raptor.
mm,
So actually, no, it
and
should be
welcome
fine.
Blockdo. Yeah, but what about a kilometer?
Basically, as far as we know, Dakota Raptor just took the neck length from a kilometer. So actually, it should be fine.
Oh, do we just not have any neck material or something?
Yeah, we don't have any neck material for whatever Dakota Raptor actually is.
But again,
We
what about with
basically
the
just have toe
kilometer?
bones. Oh, for a kilometer, yes, we have neck material.
Yeah, that's the issue, or the concern is like since Dakota Raptor didn't really have any material, and well, its
Do
neck
you have
length
an
could just be
image of
whatever.
the original Dakota Raptor model? Because I can
Yeah, I think I don't
compare
know
it
if I
right
have a
now.
side by side, but
It's
I
fine.
might
I can do a
have.
side by side. My phone does that.
I could probably wait. Can you open up FBX on your phone?
FPX?
Yeah. If not, I'll just probably just like find the FBX and I'll drop it in the blender.
Not on my phone. I probably could on my laptop, but my laptop is like dead right now. Well, it's not. Well, it's not dead. It's on charge. Um,
No worries. Yeah, this was back in like late 2023. It looks like. All
yeah.
right, let
This
me
this
see.
this was donkeys years ago. For the game at least.
Oh, wait, this is a
Just
blend file. I can just straight up open it. Okay.
Just DM me. Just DM me it.
Yeah, I'll send you a screenshot. Blender, where did the model go? Why? Is it just tiny? Where is it?
The model has died.
Oh wait, just loaded. It just took a second. Oh yeah. That is like respectfully a little ugly.
Dakota Raptor is always ugly.
Not the. Yeah. Looks so much better, like the proportion edits that we made.
Yeah.
The model itself looks good. It's just like Dakota Raptor.
Yeah.
It's like the design of it.
Dakota Raptor itself, because it's chimeric.
There you go. It's in DMs on my main account.
You can hold on. Yeah, so that neck should be fine. That matches up more or less. It just needs to be thicker, which I think we made anyway.
Because I believe you overlay the Kilobator skeletal, like, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you.
I'll do a more in-depth one, but for now, I think that would be up to the TLC. But like, for just a basic like side view, you know, like compared to each other, it doesn't seem that bad.
Gotcha. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but yeah.
I think.
Also, welcome Rover.
Yeah, I think the issue is, it's actually the clavicle area, not the actual neck length.
I see.
It's also an issue with the actual posing itself, but that's something else. Obviously we've already fixed that. But no, in this, it looks like the clavicle is way too far down, which makes the neck look longer than it actually is. But like where it would actually be on, you know, like the actual skeleton of the model would be fine. It's specifically where the clavicle is, where the arms attach essentially. That's too far down. I would assume that's already fixed on the updated model anyway. Oh hell yes, garlic bread.
Someone's name is garlic bread?
No, Bloris is getting garlic bread.
Oh.
They've gone to go eat some.
Garlic bread does sound pretty good.
It does.
Why can't vertexes just align? Why
Hello,
must I
Titanus.
align them?
Don't think I've seen you before here, Titanus.
We have a new person?
Looks
Welcome,
like it.
Titanus.
Titanus Productions. Let me know if I
I'm
need
gonna
to
go
go
stalk
over.
your YouTube channel now.
Yeah, they say that it's their first time here.
Oh,
Welcome, glad to have you.
pretty cool cinematic content. I respect it.
Let us know if you have
Now,
any questions. We've
I'll
had a lot
give
of
one
new
of
people
your-
in chat recently, so we've been fielding the common questions.
check out a couple of your videos, Titanus. Seems like you're a big fan of that trail cam style. Probably very inspired by the Isles trail cams, I assume. You should make like a series, so like people piece together kind of like lore tidbits with the trail cams. Pretty cool stuff, dude.
You had a huge
No, of
part
course.
of the fridge full of garlic bread.
Of course, the dinosaur enjoyer also enjoys Godzilla. It's exactly why I added kaiju to this game. I know I know how people are. If you like dinosaurs, you're autistic enough to like kaiju.
You like capturing things, being more animalistic rather than the monster people make it. That's good.
Yeah, no, I respect that, Titanus. That's a good idea. I think pin slop is just like more of a mechanic than an immersive experience, anyways. A bad mechanic.
And
Yep,
robots
and if
too, and tanks. I don't know.
I don't-
I'm not that into robots and tanks.
Yeah, I wouldn't say tanks. Maybe like it just by chance you're into military stuff, but robots I could see. It might be a stretch, but it's not too far of a stretch because Pacific Rim exists. Like there's a lot of instances where kaiju media or dinosaur media is mixed in with robotics, and robotics is kind of like an unavoidable kind of reality these days. But there's
I think it
also
depends on the
space.
kind of robotics.
Yeah, I suppose so. There's also space though. Like there's a
Yeah.
good chance that if you like monsters or dinosaurs, you like space.
Something, they asteroid, something. Probably.
It's the mystery.
Titana says, I'm excited to see your Rex as well. I'm glad. I think we cooked with it.
We haven't even given it a TLC design yet. Just wait. But yeah, I do think our
Yeah, that's
existing
fair,
design
Rex.
looks really good.
Basically, to clarify, because Titanus is new, basically we've been giving all the species TLC designs.
And we got our own style here, our own little like philosophy and everything. So we won't be doing like generic models based on purely paleo accuracy. We won't be copying Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. And that's about it, yeah. I think it's easy for a lot of these games, or just like for people in general, to create dinosaurs that are just like paleo accurate. And I think that's totally fine to do, and that's especially respectable if you're doing it for like a paper or something, like just any kind of learning material. But I definitely think it's overdone, and if you're not doing it for that learning material, then you may as well create something stylized that works off of
The thing that gets me really is that a lot of places pick and choose what they are paleo accurate about.
Yeah.
If you hard commit to the paleo accuracy, I think that can be a style in of itself.
It's just too conservative. It's just kind of boring.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, actual paleo art and paleo accuracy itself, because paleo accuracy is different from paleo art itself.
Well, let's say conservative paleo art then.
Yeah, because paleo accurate is specifically the papers. And then, because you can be technically paleo, roughly paleo accurate, should I say? You follow the papers, but you can still have fun with the designs. Titanus asks, will Rex have vocals like Isles Rex, or will it be Raws? I don't know what Isles Rex is called. I'm going to defer that to you.
Yeah, Isles Rex is very much on the monster side and like very Jurassic Park inspired, so very loud. Here it's definitely more on the paleo side, where we're relying less on purely just roaring and including more rumbling.
Yeah, Blora says, I love stylized designs that are still accurate to the creatures. I think that's a good way to describe it. Because,
yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because it's still accurate. It's just extrapolating. There's nothing that can say this is technically wrong.
Because when you see like the 20th conservative paleo accurate dinosaur model, it's like, oh, that's a cool model, but like there's nothing really unique about it. Like maybe the scales look a little bit different, maybe I don't know, the way the head or muscles are structured are like slightly different because of that the artist's style or skill, but ultimately it's still like not really that unique. Like it's just the dinosaur that you're familiar with and that a lot of people already know of. There's nothing that makes it stick out.
I think a lot of people should look at real life animals is the thing, because there's definitely an idea out there that dinosaurs and other extinct animals were way more conservative than modern animals, which I think is just something that's a bit weird. Like, I know it's because of how like the Victorians and the 90s, etc., displayed dinosaurs, but I don't know, it still sits off with me.
Did we make the the whole like lip thing for Smilasuchus official or locked in? Where it's like lips are able to retract?
I would. But you didn't confirm it. Essentially, me and War Dragon were both okay with it. You said it was cool, and then you didn't further respond to that.
Oh. When I say something's cool, it's basically like me accepting it. Feel free to like ping me for whatever. Like if you want me to lock something in, just ping me. Like
in. You said it was cool, so it's locked in essentially. Amber says we do have evidence for colourful dipper kids, don't we? Yeah, and the thing is, here's the big one question for Rex. Lips. Yes, lips. Correct. We will have lips.
I mean, you can look at our Ceratosaurus and our Kilobator, and I mean, you can kind of assume that it's going to have lips. All of our creatures have lips, all of them. If it doesn't have lips, it has a beak.
Yeah. Unless it's for a very specific reason, which is usually if it's aquatic, and usually the fully aquatic ones. There will be lips somewhere, because there was a study, and lips are ancestral. Lips are ancestral, so you have to lose lips rather than gain lips, which means so we will get Toothless Smiler basically. Kind of. It can snarl like a wolf, if you want that imagery. I just realized Titanus might not even know what creatures we have in this game.
Yeah. Smilo is
we're talking about all
looking
this.
dude.
I mean, Titanus is new, and Silver is new, but I don't think Silver is still here. You know a tiny bit, okay. What's the tiny bit that you know? We can probably give a crash course.
Yeah, let us know what you're aware of is in our roster.
You should also join the Discord, because we will be able to more accurately answer questions on the Discord, because it looks like the stream might be stopping soon, because I think Ember is almost done.
Ember, you gotta stream for like 5 more hours.
We'll do both. Okay, so Titanus, do you want the super long list of creatures we have?
It's not super long. It's not like the Isle long. It's like a portion of the Isle's roster, essentially.
No, it's a normal length, actually, to be fair.
There's less creatures here than in Path of Titans at this point, I think.
Yeah, there is.
At least for one roster.
Around, yeah, in
like 30.
in our Mesozoic roster at least. Happy to hear no roster bloat. Yeah, roster bloat is something. It's something I'm violently murdering. To be clear.
Yeah, we have absolutely no roster bloat. There's almost no overlap with the way we designed our creatures.
Yeah, no.
All very unique.
This is a big thing in QS. If there's too much niche overlap, it's dying. We are getting rid of it. So we are a bit mean. But it means no roster bloat, so the meanness is allowed. But yes, from lightest to heaviest, we have Cryodraken, Achillobeta, Pachycephalosaurus, Barusuchus, Anzu, Coolosuchus, Udanoceratops, Ceratosaurus, and that's the smalls. Going into mids, we have Majongosaurus, Crunchulong, Smilosuchus, Prestosuchus, Pachyrhinosaurus, Silosuchus, Uranosaurus, Spicomelus, Tarvosaurus, that's the mids. Going into larges now, Suchomimus, Dinocarus, Mapusaurus, Decenturus, Shunosaurus, that's the larges. And then our two apexes are Tyrannosaurus Rex and Edmontosaurus. Hopefully you heard all of that. But yeah, all of those are very different in niche and abilities, etc. Now read all the creatures from all the rosters.
Henry has Tyrannosaurus Rex bias confirmed.
I said Tyrannosaurus Rex because there's a million different Tyrannosaurs.
You could have said Tyrannosaurus.
That's true. Or just Rex.
The only one that got its full name pronounced.
Yeah, that's because it's the biggest one. It's the biggest. It's the biggest one out of the Tyrannosaurs. The others either there's one species or there's two species. You like the uniqueness, not just things like Giga. Yeah, no. Niches. To be fair, though, I think I probably wouldn't. I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just reading what Tennis was saying. Tennis was saying, I love the uniqueness, not just things like Giga. And then I was saying, basically the issue with things like Giga is the niche. Simply because Giga is just big Mapu. That is ultimately what Giga is. It's just slower Mapu. So no.
Actually, it's pronounced Giga.
Giga. Is it? Hold on, let me look at the IPA.
I heard that it's supposed to be Giganotosaurus. It's stupid, I know, but that's technically how it's intended to be said.
I will look at the IPA. I have the IPA for like a million different dinosaurs, so I can look at like how they're actually intended to be pronounced.
But what I was saying is Spinosaurus is also planned. Because I know Spinosaurus is super popular, and I also love Spinosaurus. It's like my favorite.
Yeah, no, it's Giga. It is Giga. It's not Giga, it's Giga.
I'm pretty sure. I think the person that named it said that it was supposed to be pronounced Giga. So maybe it's just the IPA is not going to represent that, which is fine. I'm not saying Giga is wrong. It's just like it's not how it's intended to be said.
What they probably did is they didn't know how it's actually pronounced in Greek.
But yeah, Spino is going to be in a different roster. It just won't be in the Mesozoic roster, even though it is Mesozoic. It's going to be in an aquatic roster. Because Spino just, it has a better time filling a niche in the aquatic roster compared to the Mesozoic one.
Yeah, the thing is, basically how the Mesozoic is built, the Spino wouldn't be an apex in the Mesozoic. And Sia really wants it to be an apex, so it's in the aquatic roster. Balancing reasons primarily, to be fair. You love the ambush playstyle. Me too.
If I had it my way, Spino would be a giant kaiju.
It was a different person who said it should be pronounced Yuga. Fucking Paul Sereno. That was not the person who described it.
Oh wait, isn't Paul like based though? Or am I like misremembering? Who's the dude that like always has so much aura whenever he has pictures next to skeletons?
I have no idea because I don't look at things. Sereno has.
No, it is Paul. It is Paul.
Is it?
Yeah, look up his name.
You were looking at, so.
Look up his name and then go to images.
Hold on, I will do this.
He knows how to take pictures with the fossils, that's for sure.
Yeah, the reason Paul Sereno is not very liked is because he's very gatekeeper and he's weird.
So like that's not surprising for for the dinosaur community.
Sadly.
Gatekeeping is just like everybody's like that. Being weird, yeah, not surprised. I mean, it is the dinosaur community. Like you're already weird for liking dinosaurs, I guess.
The issue specifically with Paul is that he doesn't let other people actually look at the fossils. He basically has a fossil, says it's his, and then he doesn't let anyone else look at it or do studies on it or like do anything, which kind of defeats
That's
the point of
unfortunate.
having the fossil. He literally gatekeeps other paleontologists from doing paleontology, which is the weird thing.
We gotta study Paul's bones to find out why he gatekeeped them.
Because it's like, okay, there's some level of gatekeeping that is expected if you are studying it, but the thing is he's not studying it and he's gatekeeping it anyway. But the thing is, even if you study a fossil, you are expected to at least let other people look, even if it's stored in a specific location for you.
Yeah, I personally like.
He also, I believe he also has trafficking allegations, but I can't remember. Specifically, like gems and rocks and stuff.
Can't do much based off allegations. A lot of innocent people. Like I remember, forgot his name, but there was a voice actor for Broly in Dragon Ball Super. He had allegations like set against him, and he got fired for it, even though like nothing came of it. Like they weren't even able to be proven or anything.
Yeah,
it sucks because he like seems like such a sweet guy.
But yeah, for Sereno specifically, the reason people don't like him is because he gatekeeps essentially. He also has very weird ideas about phylogeny. So it's basically, it's not, as far as I'm aware, for him specifically, it's just he's weird about paleontology and he's not good at it.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on like relying on people showing off the fossils or whatever that they have, and stopping, just no longer gatekeeping, because like it happens so often. So like at this point, just may as well like just make up a dinosaur.
It. I don't.
The fossil record is already so small, and then we got people gatekeeping.
Yeah, literally. It's like, okay. But
you
no,
may as well just make up a fictional species at this point.
He has done that. That has happened multiple times before. This is what happens when you have one toe bone and people go, yes, Dakota Raptor. That is what happened. We only have like 2 toe bones from it and like 1 finger bone, I believe. And people were like, yes, this is a full animal. It could be 3 different animals, and then it was.
I thought Dakota Raptor had turtle bones too, or is that something else?
Yep. Yeah, Dakota Raptor is a turtle. I can actually look up what is in it, but I don't think they've been redescribed yet. Yep. Yeah, it's a triconnected. It's a soft shell turtle. Like stupid dummies.
Sorry if y'all hear me munching, but shout out to Ichthyovinator on YouTube. He had a really good video on how it's like ranting about dinosaur paleontology keeps disregarding modern ecology.
Yeah.
He was a believer of Nanotyrannus before, it was even confirmed, because it just Baby Rex being what it was, where it like filled multiple niches and everything, made no sense, like ecology wise. I think ecology is something that should be more involved with paleontology.
Yeah, the issue is a lot of the people who posit such claims are usually the old white guys.
Well, it's gotta be more than that. Can't just say old white guys.
That is a lot of the old paleontology crowd, though.
Well, yeah,
but no, I do agree. It's just specifically in that case, it was that specific group, and then it's like that group has basically all the power. At least back then, not now. But when the claim was made, essentially. It's like the idea of it's like the idea of Pachycephalosaurus, the spikes shortening.
I'm probably treading on dangerous territory with this question, but I do wonder why there aren't more black folk involved in paleontology, or just like
because of really
more races in general.
Reasons. It's a lot of reasons. Obviously, the obvious ones of bigotry, and then also funding. But it's also like the places where black people live and such. What things are open to them depending on what country they live in, etc.
That's really unfortunate.
It's a lot of things. And then also obviously you also have the old guard of paleontology are pressing down on essentially the new guard. And the new guard of paleontology is a lot of queer folk and a lot of people of color. So you kind of have it's basically you have a split in the middle. And a lot of the funding is going to the old guard instead of the new guard. Obviously not all of it, because you obviously still have papers that come out. It's just usually those papers are not as hyped.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
I think Jack was in the files, yeah. I think he
and
had contact with Epstein.
That's why no one interacts with him anymore.
Jack has always been kind of a weirdo. Nobody likes him.
Yeah, because it wasn't even like Stephen Hawking was technically in the files, but he didn't actually do anything. It was just discussed. But Jack Horner actually went to the island, so yeah, no one likes him. Ember says Dakota Raptor is a turtle. Yeah.
Yes, because the scavenging lifestyle was totally sustainable for an apex predator.
I mean, hyenas aren't even scavengers properly.
Yeah, wasn't there like a documentary where Jack Horner was like heavily involved, and they didn't even have the Rex like fight any large herbivores because of how much they believed it was just a scavenger. And also, I think that's why Rex. Now I love being spinal biased, but I'm pretty sure that's why the Rex in Jurassic Park 3 also lost the spinal. Is because of Jack Horner. He had some consultants there.
Oh yeah, Valley of the T-Rex was the documentary, by the way.
I only seen like a little bit of it.
Yeah, it was like 2001. I don't know. I also think it's a little that the idea of Rex being a scavenger or something that obviously Rex was somehow weak. I don't understand that. It does look like Ember is done.
Oh yeah, Ember, this looks amazing.
Oh, it totally does.
You did a really good job. But I want to go back to the topic I was talking about. I know this is an AI generated summary, but it backs up what I was saying. So I'm remembering correctly. Yes, paleontologist Jack Horner served as the paleontology consultant for Jurassic Park 3. Horner was instrumental in the film's scientific direction, specifically persuading the filmmakers to replace the T-Rex with the Spinosaurus as the primary antagonist. He argued that the Spinosaurus was a superior predator while promoting the hypothesis that the T-Rex was primarily a scavenger rather than an active hunter. Additionally, Horner influenced the depiction of velociraptors in the film, incorporating new findings that suggested they possessed feather-like structures. He continued to serve as a consultant for the subsequent films in the franchise, including Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which I didn't even know about the Jurassic World films, if that is true. But I do know he consulted in Jurassic Park 3. And that's probably why the Rex lost. But Spinosaurus being superior is kind of based. Yeah, does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to say before we end this? By the way, for anybody that is a fan of Marvel Rivals, much as I hate that game's matchmaking, they have released a new video for their new season, so might want to go check that out after this. 'Cause I know I am.
The one thing that I'll say is I'll slowly shoot Titanus towards the Discord, so then they can ask questions there.
Yes, Titanus, join us.
Join the Discord. You can actually get answers properly.
One of us.
I do have to say,
However,
I love backlighting in the first drawing.
Yeah, it feels like almost like the sky is on fire. That's what I like about it. But I also like the stars being visible in the second one. Really like that. And then the third one has like a mixture. Really cool stuff.
Titanus says they're joining the Discord.
Let's go. Titanus, if you have any artwork or anything you'd like to share, I'll give you the verified artist role. Just make sure you share it in the art channel.
Yeah, in the correct one.
Well, I renamed the other art channel to be more obvious. It's now art discussion, so maybe people will stop like posting their full-blown like finished artwork there.
People still do it sometimes.
I don't think they do it anymore. I see work in progress work in there now. Yeah, I changed it recently, so they should stop doing it.
What, in the PVH one? They a lot of people.
Oh, the PVH Art Museum? Yeah, the PVH Art Museum. Do I delete that?
No, I think it's good.
I mean, the art museum's supposed to be.
You don't know where the link is. Hold on.
Yeah, the art museum's supposed to be fan art.
Yeah. I thought
I should probably rename that channel too.
Do you want to just rename it fan art? PVH fan art.
Whoa. Yo, Luthien's so good with their artwork. Look at that lighting.
Hold on. Go, my hands.
Alright, see you guys. Have a good one. Catch you later. We'll just talk a little bit more after the stream.
Let us know if you can see that link.